jail booth became a confessional, full of admitted sins, forgiveness, and answered prayers. In the midst of his ramblings about how and why he could do better, I heard myself mumble, "Brother, we need you."
Welcome to the Black Man Lab Afterflow. I am Marty Montague, the Executive Director of the Black Man Lab. I'm here with my brother, Clayton Bobbitt, our program manager.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We had a great Black Man Lab here tonight in Clayco. This is the second time we've been down here in Clayco, and as always, the brothers showed up and showed out. So really appreciative of the space. And brothers, I want y'all to give a quick introduction to our Black Man Lab audience of who you are.
Well, I'm Drew Andrews, and I reside here in Clayton County, and I'm a community advocate. I'm also a trustee on the library board, on the board of CASA, which is court-appointed special advocate, and also here locally, I'm the chair of the Clayton County Democratic Party.
You was just the board man.
Well, that's just in Clayton County, but I'm also co-chair of the criminal justice arm of the Black Male Initiative.
Beautiful, beautiful. We got a rap on that, brother.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My brother.
Yes, sir. I'm Carlos Benefield. I'm originally from Chicago.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Grew up with Marty, one of our role models, him and Maui. Live here in Clayton County. I'm on the board of CASA. I'm the vice chair of the Park and Recs here in Clayton County. I sit on the board of the budget board for the Clayton County School, and I also work for Clayton County School as a security officer.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you both for taking time out of your evening to be here with us tonight. But tell me, what did y'all think about the lab tonight? You know, Carlos, I know you've been in the lab before, but this is just our second time in Clayton County. What did you think about it, and what did you think about the energy in the room, everything?
Well, it was awesome. It's always awesome. Every time I come to the lab, I learn something new. Every time I come, I learn something new. I meet a different person that can impact something in my life. And I could take it back to the young men that I mentor as well and show them that, you know, it's some good brothers out here. And it was great. The energy was great. Everything was just great. The food was great. The conversation. It was just a great atmosphere every time I come to the Black Man Lab.
Yeah, and that's really what it's about, right? Is that
Yes.
We create these, as we call them, safe, sacred, and healing spaces for Black men, for us to come in and share with one another, but hopefully we walk out of the space with something that we can share with somebody outside of the space. So that's beautiful to hear. How about you, brothers?
Well, this is actually my second time as well.
Okay.
And I was looking forward to this time. I was unaware that you guys was coming here until my brother Carlos called me.
Okay.
And I said, look, I had another place I had to go to, but I was going to make my way here because I knew what was going to happen. I mean, the synergy. I love the fact that we have young folks in the room, and we have our senior elders, and it's like everyone from every walk of life and every life experience, and like you said, it's a safe space where we can share those life experiences and speak freely.
Yeah.
You know, there's not many spaces anymore where Black brothers get together and speak freely. You know, have an intellectual conversation.
Right. So often we're caught up on what's somebody gonna think about what I had to say, or how do I look? All those different things, and
It's like challenging your masculinity. That's not happening here.
Yeah, no, we don't want that. We want to have this space where we're able to really dig deep and discuss the things that are of concern to us, right? But not only that, share our experiences so that maybe somebody learns something and can take that and go outside and impact somebody else's life. So that's beautiful. Good to hear.
Yeah. And I know I want to touch a little bit more on just communication and relationships, because I know you said he just had to send you a phone call and was like, hey, you should pull up, and you do. And you both talked about how you work with either Parks and Rec or with the younger generations. And I want to know, how do you bridge that gap and communicate with those that are younger than you, whether it be the young men that come through any of your programs or that come to the parks and things that's happening here in Clayton? How do you connect and communicate with those younger brothers?
Oh, man, that's a great question. For me, it's just being authentic because, well, I don't know if I can curse, and I won't. But, people can see BS.
Sure.
and they offended because you had the audacity to bring that to them. And so that's what turns folks off. If you being true, you know, regardless of where you stand, if you true on that, then people respect that. And another thing, people just want to be heard. They don't want you talking over them. You know, they want you to actively listen, you know, and then there's an exchange, you know, and then they listen to you, and then you meet in the middle. You're not going to always agree, and that's good, you know, because you don't agree, that's an opportunity to stretch and grow. And there's some things that, because I guess I'm an old head, I got some gray hair, you know, I still don't know everything, and I think you become old when you reach that point that you think you know everything.
Right.
A wise man understands, hey, there I still have some things that I can learn.
Sure.
Learn from younger folks and other folks.
Right.
You know, so that's how I see Black Man Lab.
Yeah, and that is important, right? Where you have to be in a space of acceptance and willingness, right, to say I don't have it all figured out, right? Because the minute that we think that we got it all figured out is the minute that stuff starts going wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, because I was just telling somebody recently. This is somebody that I had mentored before, and he was saying how he really had this thing figured out in terms of work. He does the same kind of work I used to do. And I said, brother, don't ever think you got everything figured out, because the minute that you start thinking you got stuff figured out, you'll start making shortcuts in life, right? I don't need to do that no more because I've already learned that, right? And that's never the case. We always have to continue to do our processes. So that's great info. What about you, Carlos?
Well, I try to, after, say, for instance, if we have a football game, I try to put life experience into them about that football game, why we win, why we lose, and that first and foremost, have fun at the game, you know. So I try to reach the kids, and the ones that I mentor, like I work at Lovejoy High School, you know, them kids already got their minds made up. So, you know, I try to get on their level and talk to them with the music that they listen to, you know, and everybody a rapper today. So, you know, all the boys in high school are rappers, and I try to say, let me listen to your music and see what kind of music you have and what are you doing. And, you know, like some of them show me their videos. I tell them, hey man, take the guns out. You know, stop talking about things like that, because they're gonna mark you as that person. You know, if you want to be a thug, you better be an educated thug like Tupac. You know, but you don't want to be like them where they kill you off for what you're saying, because knowledge is very strong, and if you have a lot of knowledge, you could reach one.
Absolutely, and I think that you know, with our young folks, the more that they are empowered with understanding the knowledge that they have, and then also just the power that they have with that knowledge, if they use it properly at a young age, man, life could be beautiful for them. Right? Absolutely. Question for y'all on that same note. We had the conversation tonight about the election. That's what we're really talking about, and politics around the election. As it relates to the young people, how do you think, or not how do you think, what do you think their mindset is from you all's experience in dealing with? What do you think their mindset is as it relates to the upcoming election?
Well, for me, the ones that I talk to, like at the high school, they know that they're not going to vote for the other guy. You know, they're listening, but they're listening in a different way than we older people are listening. But they know that Kamala Harris is for people, and the other guy is not for people. So they kind of leaning towards her, but you know, I don't know if anybody's leaning towards Trump, but the kids just seems like more outspoken about it, and they're starting to understand it because they're listening to some of their teachers, the history teacher, especially the history teacher, because one of our history teachers, he does voter registration and everything, and most of them come to these meetings. You'll see some of them, like the youth council that we have here in Clayton County. That group right there is educating their own. So they are helping them as well.
Okay. How about you, brother?
Well, my experience has been different. Some of the young folks I'm speaking to, they are intrigued by Trump, and they feel as though Trump is speaking to them because he speaks on a lower. I don't want to say a lower level, but he speaks plainly. He very seldom uses 3-syllable words. You know, so it's quick to the point. You know, and some of us are a little more intellectual, and some of the words choice that we use is going past them, and it's so they're not relating.
Gotcha.
You know, they see Trump as flashy. They see Trump as saying, "Hey, whatever I feel like saying, whether it's true or not, I'm gonna say it." You know, and so, and what gets me is they are feeling some type of kinship, not all, but some, because he's a felon. 34 counts, convicted felon. But I have to remind them, if you had 34, you wouldn't be traveling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or running for president.
Exactly. You know, I said, Trump, you know, he spent a day in jail. You would have been in jail without bail. So the similarity is different.
Yeah.
You know, your experience is different. And so he's not giving up his freedom. You would give up yours. So I don't see how you see the equivalence.
Yeah.
And so once you have that conversation with them, you know, and then you fact check, and I'm like, if someone lied to you to your face all the time, you wouldn't trust that person. So why do you feel some trust with Trump when he lied to you over and over again? So when you have that conversation, that real conversation, not talking down, but just fact finding,
Yeah.
you know, sitting with them and say, okay, this is what he said, but this is what he did,
Right.
you know. And me, I'm a veteran. I served 21 years in the Army. And he
Appreciate your
already,
service.
it was an honor to serve. And he already said he feel like I'm a loser.
Right.
You know, I'm a loser. And then for my friends who were killed in war, he was like, you know, he had no respect for them. You know, you heard what he said about John McCain.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying to folks. Just having a real conversation like we having now.
Yep.
And then they have a different perspective afterwards.
Good stuff. Tonight, we had a bunch of perspectives shared in the room. Was there any one thing that jumped out to either of you all that somebody said?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
When they was talking about, is anyone preparing for the anarchy?
Sure.
And that's something where you like, wow.
think of.
Yeah, because I don't think, seriously, anyone's thinking about that.
But we've never had an election where we had to think about it. Right?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, we saw what happened on January
Well, that's what
6th, so
I'm saying.
they've done it before.
Yes.
That's
You
what.
know-
That's why we got to think about it this time.
Now, if there was Black Lives Matter,
Yeah.
no one would have came out alive.
Nah. We know.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So when they was talking about anarchy, are we prepared for it? Because we seem to be a culture of knee-jerk reactions. You know, we react to things, but we don't prepare for it. So that I'm like, man, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna make plans.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
that way you ready, so you
Right.
won't have to get ready.
Right. Los, anything jump out for you, brother?
Yeah, the community engagement that jumped out to me because I'm in this community here in Clayton County,
Yeah.
and I understand we had a presidential election coming up. Like the man said, we got the school board coming up, we got our solicitors coming up. We got to think about our county as well, not just think about the presidency. You know, when the man said that we all need to get together, that's why I had brought up the situation that we need to bring the Black Man Lab here in Clayton County, not in Clayton, in Henry, Fayetteville. This organization needs to be everywhere because it's an organization where you could be free. You could talk to another brother and he won't judge you.
Right.
You know, But if you're talking to your friends, somebody in that group, oh man, you a punk, you this, you that, you this. But here at the Black Man Lab, they bring something out of you that you couldn't bring out of yourself. So that what brought me. That really hit me real hard when he said that community engagement, we need to have it here more in our county, and the pastor even offered for us to have our meetings here. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to doing and starting, because we need this more, because as I see the youth, they don't have a man to talk to.
Right.
They don't have a man to talk to. And when you have an 11-year-old come up to you and tell you, thanks, coach, man, I appreciate everything you've done for me. I wish my dad was here to do this. That makes me feel good that I'm doing something for youth in this community.
Yeah.
I'd like to add something, if I may. Just a few days ago, there was a young man that I know who was shot several times, and now he's paralyzed. And he's 20, 21. And I was having conversations with him months before this, but I was just thinking, what if he had attended a Black Man Lab session?
Yeah. Yeah.
Will he be walking today?
Yeah.
So that's what hit me real hard.
And that's the goal, right? Is that we're reaching everybody, right? Every Black man out there, so that you see. Really, we want to give, especially our young folks, an alternative look, right? You just were talking about kids at the school all want to be a rapper. Well, that's because that's what they see. Right? They see that as a line of success. They don't necessarily. It's not so much of that's what their skill set is. Because I've had some young brothers, like we've worked over in Decatur schools. Some young brothers say they want to be a rapper, and I'm like, well, what have you written lately? Let me show me some bars, right? And then when you hear it, you're like, well, that's not for you. Don't say that to him. I won't crush nobody's dreams. But then that same kid might be a great artist, right? Or he might be, have a propensity for math, And next thing you know, now you're showing him, well, this brother is an engineer. He meets somebody who's an engineer, can tell him a track for that. The idea is that we got to give a different look. Right. And have spaces that it's okay to do that in. So, brothers, we're getting here close to the end here, and I want to ask this of you all before we wrap. We always ask about our brothers' habits, rituals, and disciplines, the things that you do on a daily basis that just kind of keep you moving forward, right? So tell us if there's any one habit, ritual, or discipline that you do that you can share with the Black Man Lab audience, because we've done this a number of times, and every now and then I get something for myself where I say, I'm gonna start doing that myself. One of which was the deep breathing that we do. That's how I start. I do that every day now. So, but go ahead. Anything that y'all do?
Well, what I do every day, I pray. I pray. Once I do my stretches in the bed, sit on the side of the bed, I say a prayer. I make sure that my day is going great. I hope that everything go right for me and everybody that I impact in their lives. That's what I do every day.
Yeah. You got staying in that space of gratitude.
Oh, yeah, got to.
Love it.
In addition to praying, what I do, the first thing when I open up my eyes, I count backwards from 100 to 0. And that's intentionally to get my minds focused. And so I'm ready for whatever's next.
Gotcha.
So I do that before I even touch social media or whatever. It's, actually, when I open my eyes, I'm praying. Thank you for allowing me, to continue on and face some challenges today. And then that's when I count from 0 to 100.
Gotcha.
Or 100 to 0. You said how you do it backwards.
Yeah, 100 to 0.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I like that.
Like that.
And then I would just say habits start stacking. I'd be like, I'm gonna drink water every morning and every night. That lets me making sure, hey, let me make sure I water my plants. I'm already outside. Let me go on a walk. So those good habits and stuff they do start to build, and that's something that I noticed as well.
I need to drink water.
Yeah. Brothers, just link arms. And then we're going to look right in this camera right here and say, I'm a link in this chain.
I'm a link in this chain.
And it won't break here.
And it won't break here.
Ashe.
Ashe.
All right. Thank y'all, man.
No problem.
Thank you,
No
man.
problem.
Yeah, that was
Man.
Okay.
The jail booth became a confessional, full of admitted sins, forgiveness, and answered prayers. In the midst of his ramblings about how and why he could do better, I heard myself mumble, "Brother, we need you."